Fermentation. Fermentation is the process of production of food products through controlled microbial growth and through enzymatic actions. Here in this presentation, we are going to study about different types of fermentation and its significance in the food production industry. These are some of the fermented food products which we are available in the market. It is a biochemical process wherein which microorganisms utilizes the carbohydrates, minerals and nutrients in a food product to produce different types of end products including acetic acid, alcohol, lactic acid, etc. As in the cellular respiration, in glycolysis, pyruvic acid is produced. In fermentation also, from glucose, pyruvic acid is produced where two net ATP molecules is also synthesized. In this next step, the pyruvic acid is converted into either lactic acid or acetic acid or alcohol or any other such biochemical products. Depends on these biochemical products produced. The fermentation can be classified into different types. After the production of the pyruvic acid or pyruvate, this pyruvate enters the Krebs cycle. It is a small figure of the glycolysis and the Krebs cycle, which is participation in the aerobic respiration and the anaerobic process. Here, in glycolysis process, the glucose is converted into pyruvate molecules, two pyruvate molecules. Each of the pyruvate molecules enters the aerobic respiration process where this pyruvate is converted to acetyl CoA and which reaches the Krebs cycle and as a cycle and it produces NAD plus energy molecules. Other pyruvate molecules in the absence of oxygen enters the fermentation process and it produces 2-ethanol or lactate depending upon the process. Depending upon the production of how many end products, the fermentation can be classified into two types. Mainly they are homofermentation where in only one end product is produced and a heterofermentation where more than one end product is produced. Based on this end product produced, fermentation can be further classified into lactic acid fermentation, alcoholic fermentation, acetic acid fermentation, and alkaline fermentation. Before we came into this types of fermentation, we can go through some of the important commercial products which are available in our market. The first one is Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese is a fermented product produced by Propionibacterium and from the pyruvic acid, the product, the glucose carbohydrate content is converted into the carbon dioxide and propionic acid. The next one is yogurt, cheddar cheese or soya sauce. These three products are produced by Aspergillus, Lactobacillus or Streptococcus bacteria. Here the carbohydrate molecules are converted into lactic acid. Through fermentation, the end product we are getting is lactic acid. Next one is a beverage which is wine or beer. Here we can see that the end product is carbon dioxide and ethanol. And the bacteria which came into action is Saccharomyces. Next one is nail polish remover and rubbing alcohol. Here, as in the name, the end product is an alcohol, which may be acetone, and the bacterium in action is Clostridium. And the next product is vinegar, where acetic acid is produced by the action of two bacteria, Escherichia and Acetobacter. In all these processes, by the production of the end product, carbon dioxide, lactic acid, and ethanol, one NADH is converted into NAD plus energy molecule. The next we can go to the different types of fermentation process. First one is a lactic acid fermentation. In lactic acid fermentation, lab bacteria which is known as lactic acid bacteria, lab, including lactobacillus and lactococcus are came into action. These bacteria converts the food and due to the action of these lactic acid bacteria, rapid acidification takes place and the carbohydrate is converted into lactic acid. And some of the other metabolites are also produced, including acetic ethanol, acetic acid, aromatic compounds, etc. This process of fermentation improves the texture and sensory profile of the fermented products. Some examples of lactic acid fermentation include the production of bread-like products, cheese, butter, buttermilk, and yogurt. The next one is alcohol fermentation, which here in Saccharomyces, which produces beer and wine, where alcohol is the end product. Production of ethanol. In alcohol fermentation, the end product is ethanol. Yeast is the predominant organism, especially Saccharomyces is the predominant organism, which which also converts the coconut and talipot palm to ethanol. The next one is acetic acid fermentation, where the end product is acetic acid, and the bacteria which came into action is acetobacter, which commonly known as AAB, acetic acid bacteria. This acetic acid bacteria rapidly and incompletely oxidizes the carbohydrates, sugars, and alcohols present in the food product, which in turn finally produces the acetic acid. The next one is alkaline fermentation. Mainly, alkaline fermentation is happening in the production of soya beans, fish, and seeds. Mostly, protein-rich food items are used for the alkaline fermentation. The important bacteria which came into action is Bacillus subtilis. These are some of the significance of the fermentation, especially in the production of food. The fermentation result in the significant reduction of bacteria which are harmful to the food products, especially the inhibition of pathogens. It also removes the toxic components in the food products and improves the organoleptic and sensory characteristics of the food. Thank you.